Hey guys, Lancer here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for joining me while looking to some more MTG market movers for I guess I should probably say the last 2 weeks. So let's just jump right into it because I want to cover the dual lands as well. And there's been some interesting movement, and I think we're going to see some pretty crazy stuff over the next couple of months for everything asset related. And that includes probably things like reserve list cards. No, I'm not going to say they're going to drop off the edge of a cliff or something, but they've already taken a large hit, and it looks like they've stabilized, and some of them are actually bouncing up, and that's actually really interesting to see. So let's have a look at standard. So Liliana of the Veil. Now this is the new version of the card, down by 7%, $37.50. Any other really big issues here? I don't think so. Most of these are all new cards, and even if they're most of them are new cards and most of them are expected. Things like Timeless Lotus, I'm 100% sure that while this card might be really hard to find in packs, it's not as good as it might seem. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, and there's an equivalent card to this already, and it barely sees any play. While this one is okay and it is good for what it does, it is still tricky to get it to play properly, and yeah, it's specific decks. But moving on, let's move on to modern. You got big drops for at least some of these more popular ones. Kozilek, Ulamog, Orenin 6, Kozilek, Ulamog, obviously the different versions. Overgrown Tomb. So all of these are dropping by around about 7 to 5%. Overgrown Tomb is dropping by 11%, now dropped down to $20.29. That's actually pretty crazy. And Blood Chief Ascension, $25.64, a drop of $9. And Tormagov, look at this. This card used to be like $400 or something. Dropped by 6%, now set at $40. And Sword of Fire and Ice, $52.04. Sorry, 4%. Biggest gains, Marlin of the Mornsong. Now I got this card, but it's a tricky one. Yeah, I mean it's not a bad card, but then there are ways they can really mess around with the opponents with this card where they can't search your library and you get to draw cards. But if you just want to play this, they get the advantage first. Most likely they're just going to pick up a removal and play whatever they want and then remove it at the end of their turn or before it comes back to you. Sizen, Perverter of Truth, 14% gain to an asset of $42.85. That's actually far more crazy. This card, it was okay, but I can only imagine that there just aren't many copies of it are out there. Fury, 14% gain to an asset at $30. Scion of Draco, 67% gain to an asset at $7.39. Antadak, the Cloudkeeper, 24% gain to an asset at $10. Allison, as Angel of Hope, is back, 4% gain to an asset at $51.75. And Sisay, Weatherlight Captain, 68% gain to now sit at $3.58, obviously because of the new 5-color Joda, but truthfully, she was always a decent card. It's just that she was a rare in a set that was very heavily bought, and that's why she was $1 for a large part of it. Moving over to Pioneer, which I already have open. Why would I click that? Emrakul, the Promised End, 5% drop to now sit at $71.25. Sarkhan, the Unbroken, 9% drop, now set at $24. Dragonlord Dromoka, also part of the Double Masters, 15% drop, now sitting at $9.93. So with all of these big drops for the new Double Masters, that might not provide as much value as the box originally had, but I'll have to go and check. Elenda the Dusk Rose, 11% drop, now set at $9.45. Also, big drop, also part of the Double Masters. Resplendent Angel, 3% drop, nothing too crazy. Reliquary Tower, 16% drop, and now set at $4.57. Mox Amber, still gaining, $66 now, 5% gain for the week. Esika, God of the Tree, 25% gain, and now set at $15.99. The Great Henge, the Oceloth, both here. Nothing too crazy, below 10%. The Oceloth is almost 9% gain, $23.29. It is a really good card. Conspicuous Snoop, 36% gain to now set at $6.22. Scarab God, really good card, $34. Jagannath, the Wellspring, 70% gain, 17% gain to now set to $7.55. Obviously because of Jodo. Warrenclex, 3% gain, nothing too crazy. Omnath, 8% gain, $14.29. And Alamaret's Archive. Oh God, why is some of these cards so hard to say? 11% gain to now sit at $11.22. So that's not too bad. Mostly the market seems to be okay. I've heard and seen Rudy talking about the Dominaria set being very, very poor in sales, and I think that's mostly because of the price gain and because of the way the markets are just behaving overall now. So let's have a look at what's happening in the dual lands. Moving straight over to MTG stock, and actually the MTG stock is okay, but let's just go straight to TCG. They have their own graphs now. So price history, Savannah, actually a bump up. Now it's got 8 listings, but there's actually a decent amount of copies in here, and the lightly played is in a decent price point, and the near mint is in a very decent price point when you look at this price. You know, you got to remember that near mints were almost impossible to find. $364 for near mint. While that is actually quite expensive in the last 2 years, that's still much better than what it was in the last. Like that's better than last year. Last year you would not be able to find a near mint Savannah for $340. Plateau, let's have a look. It is flatlining on here, but it had taken a massive drop in August. And how is it for some of the better versions? 418 for the near mint, 351 for the lightly played. Still on the higher end, but it's not too bad. And that is 4 versions of the near mint one. So we'll have to see how that goes. Bayou, actually kind of in a falling trend as far as you can tell, and it tried to get better, a bit of a bump up, but over the last couple of days it's just fallen again. So you got a near mid selling for $469. Yeah, that's pretty good price. That's a pretty good price. Tiger, same again. Let's have a look. So you got Tiger moderately played sitting at $294, but a lightly played or a near mint is going to be $393. So once again, and if we go and look at the graph, it's actually gotten a bit of a bounce up ever since August 29th. It's been moving up. We'll have to see where that stabilizes. Tropical Island, very much a downward trend over the last couple of months. And actually, wait, did that really top off on... God, that top is even better than the stock market, because I think that actually timed it even better than the stocks. It just dropped off immediately from that high and has never gone back up there. So let's have a look at Tropical Island on TCG. You can see, yeah, there's a clear downward trend. You can see it moving down pretty easily. Lightly played 480, pretty good. Yeah, I mean, these were selling for a bit more than 480 a couple of months ago, so near mint 578 on the more expensive side, but still. Tundra, one of my more interested ones. Big drop off over the last couple of months, as everything else has. But a lightly played is still going to set you back $489. So we'll have to see how that goes. Underground Sea also downtrend ever since November of last year. And Underground Sea damage 488. Not really going to look into that. Lightly played sales almost $700. Yeah, it's still on the more expensive side, right? Like, I mean, even if the graph shows the Underground Sea dropping, it's gotten a decent bounce in the last couple of weeks. And I think that bounce is actually helping support it. And it also had some massive drop-offs in the past and kept bouncing back. So there is someone buying at around about this 600, 700 range. Volcanic Island, another interesting one. Let's have a look at... I didn't open it up. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, no, this is TCG. Volcanic Island, very, very... sorry, the most opposite out of all the other ones. It's actually moving up quite aggressively. Biggest drop was 736, and now the average is 751. You can find a lightly played for 718. That's not bad. Near mint for 847. Once again, not bad. There is 11 listings, which is actually a decent amount compared to the last couple. And last, Badlands. I think I didn't cover this one. Bit of a drop off, about $40 lost in the last 3 months. But you can get a near mint for 429. Again, not bad. One of the main things I've noticed is you are seeing lightly played near mints become available. The price hasn't dropped, but the quality has increased. Now, this could be the case for a lot of things. Even for houses, I have a feeling what's going to happen is the prices aren't going to drop that much, but you're going to be able to buy better quality houses with the amount that you pay. Now, that might not make sense, but what I'm saying is that the lower end is going to stay pretty stable, and the upper end is going to probably be negotiable or drop just a bit because people might have trouble affording it. And the same thing might happen with these cards, which is the lower end might stay the same, moderately played, etc. But the near mints and lightly played might start falling and keeping in track with the prices. You're not going to get near mints at 999 when the moderately played is 450. Like that's what was happening a year ago. Now you can get the near mints at a premium of just $60. Not even $60, that's $7. So that's a weird one. Why would you buy a moderately played for 422 when you can get a near mid for 429? That's weird. But that's not always going to be the case. I'm just saying that the near mints and the lightly played are now starting to come into reach of the original prices of the moderately played, and why pick up a damage if you can get anything else for just a couple more dollars? Anyways, and that should actually, now think about it, that should bring the market down over time, because now whenever someone's like, I don't have enough money, I'm just going to get a damaged one for, let's say, $50 less than a moderately played, then the moderately played needs to get the attention, so they're going to drop that by $10, and then the near mid might drop by $20, and then the lightly played might drop by $20, and you might start seeing like a cascade issue effect where prices just drop slowly over time. But we're going to have to see how this all goes, because I think long term these are still good pickups, but in the next couple of months it's going to be really interesting to see how everything is going to turn out. And yeah, let me know what you guys think as well, because I'm not looking at the markets as an overall. A lot of things haven't really changed where I live right now, especially as far as cards. Most of the people here in Australia have to ship it from the US to begin with, and then they kind of just hold on to it. Very little gets flipped around, especially with premiums and stuff like that, and cutting costs and all that. Because the only place you go to is the most expensive place you can find these cards, so Star City Games, and be like, okay, so on Star City Games is this much, so you got to pay me this much. And then most likely people are like, yeah, I'm just going to buy it from, Card Kingdom or something like that. Like it's very, very hard to actually buy and sell cards here. It's just not something that happens as often. So when we buy cards from the US, the exchange rate matters a lot. And the US dollar, I don't know if you guys know, especially if most of you guys are from the US, is super strong. It might not feel like it because you've got inflation and everything else happening over there. But if you guys come over to Australia, you'll notice that you can probably buy more. Things might be cheaper by almost 10%, I think. So yeah, I mean 10% over the last couple of months. So it's actually been pretty crazy to see that happening. And I think it's going to kind of stay like that for a little bit, because I think you guys got a bit more inflation happening. So the Federal Reserve is going to try to calm it down. Increasing interest rates. As for the housing, because of supply and demand issues and people willing to accept the new price of houses and rents going up to crazy amounts, what am I expecting from that? I'm actually expecting the prices to be more stable than a lot of people give it credit. So yeah, it's kind of annoying to hear, but I think it's going to stay stable. But then that'll also make these card markets and everything else more stable than people expect as well. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Let me know what your thoughts are, and like and subscribe, etc. for all of these. I'm going to try to do these more often. I know I keep saying that, but it's mostly just a habit, and I need to get into the habit, and support helps. Thanks again, and have a good day. See ya.